The Hoaxes.
Good day everyone. In this video, we talk about the 5 greatest hoaxes in the Philippines history that you maybe don't know. Hoaxes in Tagalog is translated as Pike, Pandaraya, and Panlinlang. And with the rich history of the Philippines, it is inevitable that some of the stories from the past is just hoaxes. First, Pinay Cannibal. Move over Hannibal lecture. This woman above, allegedly a Filipina, might be one of the worst man-eaters in existence. Rumors has it that upon reaching her 29th birthday, the unidentified cannibal had already eaten dozens of humans, including her husband. She would store the human meat in her refrigerator and later serve them to their friends or relatives. So extreme was her appetite for human flesh that he also showed of a prison guard finger when she was jailed for murder. However, with no substantial proof available, the history of this Pinay cannibal would either be a hoax or just plain exaggeration. Although some Asian Filipino tribes ate their own kind back then, cannibalism in the Philippines has been a dead tradition for centuries now. The second, the Black She-Wolf. In October 1917, Governor General Fernando Manuel de Bustillo Bustamante y Roda was assassinated at the Palacio del Gobernador. The perpetrators were never identified, although some accounts link Dominican pressed to the murder. Then, sometimes during World War II, a novel based on the gruesome murder came out from nowhere, entitled La Loba Negra, or the Black She-Wolf. It tells the story of the Governor General's widow who transforms into a wolf by night to kill her husband's murderers. The said novel was allegedly written Jose Burgos, who, as far as historical record is concerned, had no other known literary works. Historian William Henry Scott later discovered that La Loba Negra was only a hoax. Turns out, conman Jose E. Marcos, the same guy behind the Code of Kalanchaw, created the novel as part of his immense collection of forgeries. The third one is the Code of Kalanchaw. Code Kalanchaw in 1433, the first Filipino lawmaker purportedly wrote Code of Kalanchaw in the island of Panay. Thanks to these documents, we were introduced to some of the most absurd and bizarre laws ever written. These include brutal punishment for minor offenses ranging from stoning and cutting of fingers, drowning, and feeding to crocodiles. Code of Kalanchaw had been an important part of history until its authenticity was finally put into a question. No historical evidence, not even a trace of oral history, its history in Aklan, not been found to prove its existence. Finally, historian William Henry Scott was able to identify the person behind the falsehood. Jose E. Marco, the Code of Kalanchaw, as it turned out, was a fabricated myth submitted by Marco to the Philippine Library in 1914. In the end, the National Historical Institute officially declared the Code of Kalanchaw is just a hoax in 2004. The fourth one is Ang Aking Mga Kabata. It is hoax or truth that Rizal really wrote a poem entitled Sa Aking Mga Kabata when he was only 8 years old. For me, it was a hoax that the young Rizal kid really wrote such poem like this when he was just a young child in year 1969. Sa Aking Mga Kabata, in English to my fellow youth, is a poem about the love of one's native language written in Tagalog. It is widely attributed to the Filipino national hero Jose Rizal, who supposedly wrote in it 1869 at the age of 8. However, there is no evidence to support authorship by Rizal, and several historians now believe it to be a hoax. The actual author of the poem is suspected to have been the poets Gabriel Beato Francisco or Hermenegildo Cruz. According to this statement, Rizal's poem Sa Aking Mga Kabata was not his work and is just a hoax, because they didn't imagine that just a 8 years old child really saw the wrongdoing of Spain in our country. And in his created poem, he stated already about the freedom of our country from the conquerors. There is a lot of evidence can prove that Rizal really don't wrote this poem. How do we know that Rizal did not write the poem that gave us some famous sticky fish quote? There are many clauses in this poem in itself. For example, the language is too precious even for an 8 years old Rodrigue like Jose Rizal. There are also details that betray the 20th century authorship, while the poem was purportedly written in 1869. Thank you for watching. By the way, my name is Marilu Corrientes.